I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please welcome our president, Jennifer Smith.
Good morning, Valley Voices and Vices. Look at all the squares. I'm super excited to see you guys. Happy 4th of July to come early. We're celebrating already in our office because we're going to get out of here at 2 o'clock. So I'm super excited about that. I have to do the introductions of our guests. We have Amy Dax visiting us, and she is driving but listening. So welcome back, Amy. It's been almost a year. I've seen her. And then Etta, our standing guest. We also have our past district directors, Maria Martinez Rioch, Distinguished Toastmaster. And we have also D. George Lund, past district director and distinguished Toastmaster. And we have our newly Division A, we are Division A, Director Rick Sparrow. Did I miss anybody? The mission of Valley Voices and Vices is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Are there any unfinished business? We talked about, well, I guess I will go on the schedule. George, would that go in the schedule or would it go at the end where I want to talk about our fifth Friday?
Well, we have a pretty full meeting today, so I don't know how much time we can take.
Okay, so we'll just skip to the end, and then if we have time, we'll discuss it. Are there any officer reports? Anything from the division? Anybody? Lori, did you have something? I didn't know if you were waving your hand.
So
You're on mute.
I still haven't heard from Peggy or Cynthia on their availability. I sent out the schedule. If it needs to change, let me know.
Okay. And then anything else? All right.
Please remember, you guys, I hate to harp on this, but when the EdVP sends out an email asking for your availability, please make sure you respond so that they can put the schedule together. Because to be honest with you, it's a pain in the ass to do. And if you don't get cooperation from all the members, it makes it that much more painful. So please respond appropriately. Thank you.
Yes. All right, thanks for that, George. Well, I want to introduce the Toastmaster of the day, and let me give a proper introduction. She is the Toastmaster of the year for the 2020-2021 year, and she also is the district's public relations manager. Let's introduce or welcome Jennifer Smith. Good morning. Thanks, Jennifer. What would it be if I can't be nutty at 7:15 or 7:30 in the morning? It is a very special meeting. First of all, we will do our installation. It looks like that's what we're going to do first. So Rick Sparrow, our Division A director, will be our installing officer. And I think this is my first time doing this installation, so I haven't been paying attention on the order. So I think Rick will go ahead and take the lead.
Perfect. Thank you, Miss Toastmaster, Miss President, Miss Jennifer. I appreciate it. So I don't have the agenda. How much time do I have for this? So I know how fast to read them.
You have, it looks like, that is so funny. It looks like 5 minutes.
I can get through them really fast. So congratulations to everybody starting your new year. I am going to go down the order from top to bottom. Jennifer sent me the order, and then the certificates I have in front of me are in order also. So we're going to start with LD4 Jennifer L. Smith as president. Miss Jennifer, if you want to raise your right hand. You provide the leadership and guidance the club needs to be successful. You have the overall responsibility for seeing that the club provides a positive, supportive environment. You see that members participate in and benefit from Toastmasters educational programs. You see the club actively recruits new members and retains current ones. You organize and chair executive committee meetings. You attend and vote at area and district council meetings. You vote at the international business meetings. Are you willing to take on this role?
I do.
Thank you, Mrs. President. Let's move on to VP of Education, Miss Cynthia F. Dick, EC3. Cynthia, would you like to raise your right hand, please? You've got the longest list, but it's only intimidating if you're looking at the paper like I am. Plan dynamic club meetings. You provide Toastmasters education programs to club members. You orient new members to the Toastmasters program and to the club. You make sure all members understand the importance of excellent evaluations and know how to evaluate. You arrange for Speechcraft and other success leadership programs to be conducted inside or outside the club. You arrange for the club to conduct youth leadership programs. You encourage members to participate in other Toastmaster activities and programs. You administer speech contests. You organize a speakers bureau. You chair the education committee meetings. You attend and participate in the executive committee meetings. You preside in the absence of the president. You attend and vote at area and district council meetings. You vote at the international business meeting. Are you willing to take on these roles? Based off your smile because you were muted, I'm going to say you are excited for this.
Lori, yes, I do.
Awesome. Thank you, Cynthia.
Don't be scared, Cynthia.
Lori.
It's only intimidating on paper. Don't worry. Let's move on to VP of Membership, Lori Leinert, Distinguished Toastmaster.
Leonard.
Lori, I do apologize for that. It's not the first name I'll hammer through this process, but I'll get better every time. You build club membership, you increase member satisfaction, you prepare the semi-annual membership report, you chair the membership committee meetings, you attend and participate in executive committee meetings, you attend and vote at area council meetings. Lori, are you willing to take on this?
I will.
Awesome. Thank you, Lori. VP of Public Relations, Francisca Suarez, LD1. Francisca, you plan a public relations program. You prepare publicity material, just kidding. You produce a club bulletin. You write for the company publication. You chair the public relations committee meetings. You attend and participate in executive committee meetings. And in an addendum, you have a heck of a support staff because you have the district PR with you. Are you willing to take on this role?
I do.
Awesome. Thank you, Francisca. Let's jump to the secretary, D. George Lund, Distinguished Toastmaster and PDD. There you go, George. Thank you, sir. You maintain an accurate membership roster. You record and read meeting minutes. You assist with semi-annual membership roster. You report new officers to world headquarters. You prepare and mail orders for Toastmaster supplies. You circulate tips, the supply catalog, and the Toastmaster magazine. You keep the club constitution and bylaws. You maintain general club correspondence. You attend and vote at executive committee meetings. Sir, are you willing to take on this role?
I will.
Awesome. Thank you, George. Now that you relaxed your hand, we're going to go to the treasurer, Mr. D. George Lund, Distinguished Toastmaster. George, thank you for bringing the hand back up. I appreciate that. You provide an annual budget for the club. You provide the bank with a new signature card. And if you need my bank account number, let me know. You notify each club member in writing of dues payable. You collect payable dues and fees. You issue checks to world headquarters for semi-annual membership dues and new member fees. You pay all bills promptly. You keep complete and accurate records of all financial transactions. You present a verbal and written financial report monthly. You submit club accounts for audit. You respond to IRS or other government agency inquiries and make sure the club has an EIN. You attend and participate in executive committee meetings. George, are you willing to take on this role?
I will, but I don't want your account number.
There's no money in it, don't worry. Thank you, George. I appreciate you. The final, the Sergeant at Arms, Miss Maria Martinez Riach.
Yeah.
Dis-
That's
Distinguished Toastmaster. Thank you, Maria, and I do apologize. As Sergeant of Arms, in my opinion, you have the most important role. You arrange the room and equipment for each meeting. You greet all guests and members at each meeting. You arrange for food services and meal meetings, and please invite me when you do. You collect ballots and tally votes for awards. You maintain all club equipment and material. You chair the social and reception committee. You attend and participate in executive committee meetings. Ms. Maria, are you willing to take on this role?
I do.
Awesome, thank you. Madam Toastmaster, that is your executive committee all inducted.
Thank you, Rick, Division A Director. And thank you all for volunteering for this next 6 months. We do have some challenges and we are going to overcome them because that's our goal. So to get members and get to be, what is it, President? Distinguished? Yes, that's our goal. All right. Our word master today is our newly appointed VTPR, Francisca Suarez. Welcome, Francisca, to the screen.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, as your grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to their language usage. I'll take note of any misuses of the English language, as well as any outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts. I will also introduce the word of the day, but before I do that, I am also your all counter, looking for pauses and filler words and so forth. So the word of the day is affluent, an adjective, which means having an abundance of goods or riches, wealthy, or flowing in abundance. So the word of the day is affluent. An example of using the word in a sentence: the United States of America is one of the most affluent countries in the world. I will give a word of the day report and grammatical usage report when called upon at the end of the meeting. And that is all. Thank you, Madam Toastmasters.
Thank you, Francisca. And don't forget to use the word, you guys, today, affluent. And I'm still trying to figure out a good way to use that. While I'm thinking of it, let's bring control of the meeting to our Minute Master, my sister, and newly appointed Vice President of Education, Cynthia Dick.
Good morning. So since we're talking about freedom, here's a definition of freedom: the power or right to act, speak, or think as one wants without hindrance or restraint. I have a little video about freedom by Pharrell Williams. You guys may have seen this. I need to share the screen. Got it. Freedom. Sorry about that last part. I thought I was going to catch it. There you go. Freedom.
Thank you, Cynthia. And our table topic today, Master, is Peggy Prince. I can't wait for her to come up with the question. She's always very interesting. Let's give control to Peggy Prince.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmasters, we'll jump right in here. With an affluent country like the United States, do you think that money could buy you freedom? Why or why not? And I will pick on Cynthia Dick for that one.
Do I think money could buy you freedom? No, I don't think money could buy you freedom. I think money is just like a habit. It's like something that you can attach. If you use money for other things, if you can use money to help other people, if you can use money to help yourself in some way or shape or form, it is good, but not to, I mean, there's ways you could use money that is wrongdoing. I don't really believe that money can buy you freedom. I think it's your personality could buy you freedom. I think what you want, you could buy you freedom. I think money is not really important to me, really. Madam Topic Master.
Thank you. Thank you, Cynthia. It seems like freedom, if you don't know what it is, maybe you don't even know if you would want it or not. And in a country as rich as the United States, it seems like maybe we are oppressed by our own vices. What oppressive thing in your life would you like to be free of? Francesca.
Thank you, Madam Topics Master. I would say that one of the things that I would like to be freed of would be to see my home country of Cuba free from oppression. You can't buy it with money. I think it's an attitude of the people. And again, I am not an expert. I only have my stories from my family. I was only 3 when I left Cuba, but I hear the horror stories. And I think that's what I would want, is to see my home country of Cuba free from the oppression and the socialism. Thank you, Madam Topics Master.
Thank you. There's a song out there that says, freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. So it's kind of a value sort of thing. What would you have to lose, George Lund?
Well, I think that, Madam Topic Master, that I would not want to lose my freedom. I really appreciate the fact that I live in a country that is has the ability to let people be, as long as they're not being oppressive to other people or putting other people down. We have the freedom to be able to speak our minds. We may not always agree with other people, but we have the ability to say what needs to be said, as long as we're not hurting other people. And that was my response to Jennifer when she sent out the meeting agenda, is that I think it's important that we be able to speak, have freedom to speak. Madam Topic Master.
Thank you. I became very aware at a young age what the rocket's red glare meant, because my dad was a World War II veteran, and I don't think a lot of people appreciate the scale of that war and how we've sort of brushed it off right now. A lot of people, there's not too many of those vets that are still alive. But Germany was definitely a country that was at war with the world. Has that created any, in what way does that create any conflict with you today, Etta?
My dad is American and and my mother was German. Both suffered effects of World War II. They were children during that time. My dad suffered from the the effects, rationing, and my mom suffered some very serious effects too. Her own father was in a Russian concentration camp. He suffered from communism, socialism. It's very important we know what freedom is and how we can lose it. Any dictatorial form of government, whether it's Nazism or communism, we have to know that socialism, when the government gets too big, people start dying. We have to know and appreciate our freedom.
Thank you. Thank you, Etta. And just as a final note too, I think as Americans, we are a melting pot. And it's important to remember to study history and remember the mistakes that we've made so that we can appreciate our freedom and never take it for granted. And with that, I'll conclude our topics for today, fellow Toastmasters.
Thank you, Peggy. George, can we get a timer's report?
Yes, Madam Toastmaster. Cynthia talked about the ability that we can't buy our freedom for 50 seconds. Francesca talked about that she'd like to see her home country free from oppression for 41 seconds. I talked about the ability to have the freedom to speak for 53 seconds. And Etta talked about the effects of World War II on her family for 81 seconds. So everyone qualifies. So send your votes to who? Me? Okay.
Send your votes to George. Thank you, George. Now comes the time when we have our prepared speeches. Do we need a break to talk about the speech between Lori and Nicole? Are you guys good? All right, well, let's bring control to Lori and give us Nicole's objective.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmasters, most welcome guest today. Nicole is going to be a workshop speaker later this month on July 17th. And so she's going to be practicing a couple of times this month. But her project today is going to be from the Leadership Development Path. And this is the project is Focus on the Positive. Her objectives are, and her purpose is for the member to practice being aware of her thoughts and feelings, as well as the impact of her responses on others. And also, the purpose of this speech is for Nicole to share her experience completing the project. Her time is 5 to 7 minutes, and her title today is Divine Interventions.
Okay, thank you, Lori. And let's welcome Nicole Henderson, Divine Intervention, Nicole Henderson. There you go, Elaine. Nope. Want to try to call in, Nicole, and see if that works? It's very faint. Wow. She disappeared.
Maybe she's re-logging in.
All right. Well, while we're waiting for her to log back in, don't forget Makeup TLI. Did you see that, Maria? Okay. And if anybody is interested,
I did get it, yes.
and I think it's just you and I who have not.
Yeah, I'm just making myself huge signs because last one I just blew it. I have to remember to read.
I
Get
did the
on.
same thing. I'd registered and I think because it was a Saturday evening, I just totally spaced.
I completely blew it and I was here. It's not like I was somewhere.
I was
couldn't
too.
reach. I was like, off it went. So,
Talk now. No.
I
No,
think
it's
we never had a makeup on a Saturday evening. I think I just totally spaced it. At least this was a Monday evening. It's more like we're used to on a
I know.
weeknight evening.
So what's with Nicole?
no.
Audio isn't working.
If you called in instead, is there a phone line? Hold on.
Call in on your phone, Nicole.
Yeah. What's the, Cynthia, do you know the phone number? How do you?
Let me see. I'm calling you, Nicole.
I don't see a phone number on the invite.
Oh, I hear it.
I hear it.
Well, that's Cynthia calling Nicole.
Can you guys hear? Talk, Nicole.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
I'm here. I apologize. I have no idea what's happening with my sound.
Okay, how about you?
Muted this here. If I mute myself, I can't hear.
How about muting the Zoom?
She is on mute.
Okay, go ahead and speak.
Okay.
Can you guys? Okay, hold on. Go ahead and talk. Just do a line.
Okay. It's still an echo, but I will try to talk softly.
Hold on, let me fix the echo for you. So
She needs to mute something.
yeah, the volume on Nicole's computer needs to be turned down.
Well, she's on mute.
But she still has to turn it down.
Okay, go ahead and talk, Nicole.
Okay, I'm lowering my volume. I think that's better. Can you guys hear me?
Okay.
Yes.
My apologies. It's the first time it's happening to me. I can't believe all this time I've been doing good except for now. However, thank you, Lori, for that introduction. Thank you, Cynthia, for calling me. Focus on the positive. And of course, I am still positive with all of that. Okay, lost this. Okay.
We don't see you, but you can go ahead and keep on talking, Nicole.
Okay. I will log back on and I will still keep talking. Focus on the positive. See the positive in everything and focus on the positive. However, people don't think that this is enough. Negativity is so embedded into our culture, into everything that we do. and it's very unfortunate. I would love to be able to see the expressions, but I'm just going to go with it. I have a question for two individuals. The first individual is Cynthia. I can't see her face, but I'll imagine what she looks like. I would like to know, there you are, Cynthia. Hello there. I would like to know, what does divine intervention mean to you, Cynthia? Because you are a pastor and you are a person of faith. What does divine intervention mean to you, Cynthia?
Divine intervention means to me that God stepped in to do something that you had no idea that he did it, or how to get out of something, that he's total control in that area. It could be anything, like almost in a wreck, angels all around your car stop you from spinning or flipping over. It could be almost to a cliff. God stop you right there. It's just divine intervention, like a tornado coming through a yard and missing your whole house. Divine intervention.
Thank you, Cynthia. That is absolutely correct. I heard some negativity about falling off a cliff, and I heard the positivity about just God stepping in. Second person, Mr. Rick. Yes, Mr. Rick. What does divine intervention mean to you?
Divine intervention. So listening to Cynthia's answer, at some point, I have had a divine intervention based off Cynthia's answer, and I have to agree with her. It is God stepping in and taking control. I've totaled vehicles. I've spent 15 years in active addiction, and the only person outside of emotionally I hurt myself. But I've made it through this far, and I've got 8 years in recovery. So to me, having my faith and my background, and I'm sorry, Cynthia, to piggyback off of your answer, but I do believe a divine intervention is God stepping in, or my dad in heaven with God stepping in and intervening in my somewhat, I thought, good decisions at that point in time, but turned out to be really piss poor decisions. But that would be my definition of divine intervention, is somebody on the outside stepping in to help me.
You know, the positive thing about what Rick and Miss Cynthia said to us is it was truthful, and it struck a chord, and the positive came out of that. Divine intervention is the involvement, more so of an intervention of deity, meaning divine, the affairs of human beings. It's a form that can be direct, such as visual or auditorial manifestations. Another definition of divine intervention is the interference of deity in human life. It's like miraculous turn of events. I'm here to encourage you to see the positive in everything and focus on the positive. Sometimes it's easier said than done. Try not to be cliche-ish, but just do it. See everything focusing on the positive. For some people, it's not enough. Negativity is so embedded into everything we do, and it's time to uproot it right now. Here are some words that help with divine intervention and positivity. Casualty, good luck, lucky break, twist of faith, divine will, good fortune, or just blessings. Discernment is a byproduct of this. You can have discernment anytime and discern whether you're going to be positive or be negative. And I'm encouraging you to choose the power within you. You have the opportunity to stop time. I know that's kind of a big ticket item for some people, but let's see. Let's go ahead and look in the few minutes that I have with the discrepancies that happen, and I'm still being positive, focus on the positive. If you are in the car and you're driving, you see a homeless person, and the homeless person, you reach in your pocket and you're sitting with your spouse, significant other, and you give the homeless person $1. And your wife or your spouse turns to you and says, "Why did you do that?" And you say, "I don't know." Well, he's not an affluent person. He does not have the abundance or riches that we have and flowing in abundance. He's not affluent like us. Why did you give him the dollar? Well, you can respond by saying, the dollar is in a better place. I feel peaceful about giving the dollar, and I am not going to get stuck on what you think about. He stinks. He hasn't taken a bath. He doesn't look like us. We have a choice. If the dollar is in a better place and it made me feel good, allow me to focus on the positive. Regardless of that, become more positive, deliver the freedom, not cliche as 4th of July, deliver the freedom. Do not agree with the negativity that is right in front of you or that someone is trying to project on you. I want to encourage you to develop God skills. Yes, Nicole makes up words all the time, and here it is. It can be transferred, and we can copy it from God. It's like copying and paste. But we are not God. But we can borrow God's compassion and just apply it. Some people always feel unworthy. They feel negative. They're always bringing their negative energy. And when you see that person, you roll your eyes in the back of your head, oh my God, I have to find some energy for this person. Divine intervention is undeniable truth. You can agree that you're worthy, or you can disagree that you're not worthy or you're an unworthy person. Just do it. Put the power into your own story. Don't be enslaved by it, and watch how others transform. Keep stepping in the right direction. Unworthiness is a descriptor. You can participate or not. Focus on the positive. Activate the experience. Live it out and believe that you can have divine intervention by being the person who doesn't agree and walk away. Just choose to disagree. When people argue back and forth with you, you can choose to disagree. You can choose to just whisper and not get higher than them. Divine intervention. You would need to practice patience and persistence to focus on the positive. And with that being said, focus on the positive. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Nicole. I did not see George's videos off. I don't know if he was timing at all. I don't know if he messaged anybody else to say that he's off.
Of course I was timing, but I didn't know the video was off. I'm so sorry. I'm taking a cue. I'm taking a cue from you, Jennifer.
Hey, you are
I don't know why the video keeps going off. All right, here I'm back.
You are to be the mentor.
If Rick had not been so long-winded, I think that Nicole would have made her time, but she actually spoke for 8 minutes and 33 seconds.
Sorry.
Thank you, George. Well, today, the general evaluator is Maria Martinez-Rios. So let's welcome Maria to control of the meeting.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. What a great meeting. What a great meeting we've had. We started with our Toastmaster, with our president, with the business meeting. We talked about, we recognize the dignitaries, which we do in this club, and I have always thought is a wonderful thing to do. We talked about the scheduling and how we all need to be very supportive of our Vice President of Education, especially since Cynthia heard all of the things that she's going to have to do. She's going to need every ounce of support that she can get from all of us. So we'll respond to those emails quickly. We have installation of officers. Welcome again, Rick. Welcome, welcome. We are always welcome. We switched over to Division B and there, Division A from Division B, and there you are. I hope this is not the only time we're going to see you in our meeting. Okay. Our minute master this morning, Cynthia, I really don't know who that person is. I admit my ignorance and puts me, you know what that puts me, right? What age bracket that puts me on your video. But that video had some very impactful moments. So I appreciate you showing it. Our topics, very thoughtful questions from Peggy on the theme freedom, which I didn't get to respond to any of them, but if anybody in the room hasn't experienced freedom directly, it's me. So I very much know what it means to have it and not have it. Very good questions, Peggy. We're going to go into the evaluation of our speakers, and I'm sure that Lori will have a lot of comments about it. But aside from the speaker itself, I was impressed on how we handled the technical issues that we had, and Cynthia to our rescue with her phone. And if no matter what gets thrown at us, Valley Voices and Vices, we seem to be able to just respond and move on. And this is why I'm saying, what a wonderful meeting. With that, I'm going to introduce our evaluator for our speaker this morning. Please welcome Lori.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and especially Nicole. What a phenomenal speech. You are affluent with positivity. You are probably the most positive spiritual person I know. I really want to be you. I have struggled, honestly, with being positive, and I've shared that with meetings and doing my gratitude list and, you know, my little things that I do about being positive to get out of that negativity that I sometimes fall into. So I really appreciated your speech, and I love this project in Pathways. It's one of my favorites. I really encourage anyone to do this particular project. It's so much fun. I loved your speech today, Nicole. There's so many good things. And for preparation for your workshop, your eye contact was fabulous. You were looking into the camera. I felt that you were making a direct contact with me. And I saw the other people in the audience nodding their heads. You were making a contact with everyone. You asked direct questions of Cynthia and Rick and engage the audience that way. I hope you're going to do that with the panel too, or with your speech, because I think it's a fabulous technique to get more people involved. And you don't know Rick, so you weren't sure what he was going to say. I know you know Cynthia, so you had an idea what Cynthia was going to contribute, so you called on her first. Great technique, but no idea what Rick was going to say. So great idea. I think that was fabulous. Positive words throughout the speech, and you focused on that from your participants, drawing them out, pointing those out. A few negative speeches or words with Cynthia at the cliff, falling off the cliff, but then focused on the positive words, the blessings and good luck and what we could use in our daily life, giving us a challenge. But then using those soft words too, encouraging rather than challenging us, you encouraged us to focus on the positive. You also had some amazing gestures. Of course, there were technical difficulties, but as Maria already mentioned, we overcame those. I encourage you with your panel. I don't know what platform they're using for your speakers, if it's an online platform or in person. Whenever in person, okay, fabulous. Get there early, find out what kind of audio visual they're going to have, try it out, get on stage. I know that you do this a lot, so you're very well versed in that. But it's always a great idea for any speaker to work the room a little before the event. If you can, get comfortable with it. Have an extra shirt or cover up. You never know how that's going to be, so that you're the most comfortable. Focus on the positive so that your speech is the absolute positive. I know Nicole also asked for some feedback from the rest of the members. If we have a few minutes, Madam General Evaluator, I will turn this back to you so that you can indulge Nicole with some additional feedback.
Thank you, Lori. I think we do have a couple of minutes, so if anyone else has some comments from Lori, we will entertain those. Anybody else?
I do like the topic. It was really impactful. I agree with Lori about asking those questions because it does set the tone of your presentation. And your gestures were right on, and you can feel, Nicole, when you're talking, that you actually feel what you're talking about because of the way you make your gestures. Stand, even when you're speaking with us, stand. And I think that's it.
George?
Great job today, Nicole. I always enjoy listening to you. I thought you had a very affluent and strong message today. I really thought that Lori gave you some great feedback about going early and making sure that you understand the technology that you'll be using and maybe testing it out. I think that's a great suggestion. And I really appreciate the fact that you were able to get around the technology today and be able to present to us. So great job today. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Can you guys hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Well, of course, because I'm done, but thank you. I'm saying positive.
Nicole, the only thing I will add to that, and it's not just about the speaking, because you are very, very eloquent. Your usage of words, your vocabulary is superb. I mean, but on a personal note, I appreciate the message. I tend to try to be positive most of the time, but I think I know, like Lori, sometimes I can get depressed. And just hearing that reinforcement, and it reminded me of so many different things. My mother used to always tell me, and she went through living hell in life, but she always used to tell me, you have to have faith. Just keep faith. And that are the words that just keep coming back to me whenever I get down. So thank you again. George?
Just one more thing. I don't know if you're going to be timed when you do this presentation.
Yes, I have to speak for 45 minutes. I'm going to try to put the flyer in the chat, and it's going to be extensive. So I tried to pull out everything I could for 7 minutes to fit this particular platform. But yes, I will be at time. It's an entire workshop. It's really, really big. It's going to be at the Nevada Culinary, where Nevada Partners used to be.
Oh,
So
really?
Are you going to involve the audience? Are you going to ask like you did here with the audience?
I did. I prayed about that because I had no idea how it was going to be engaging, and I wanted to be engaging.
So,
No. Are you going to be doing that during the 45 minutes? Are you going to involve the audience?
Yes, just to cheat a little bit so I don't have to talk so long, but go ahead, George.
Well, just remember that whoever talks, if depending on how many you have, that will eat into your time as well, especially if they get, really carried away, like Rick and Cynthia did.
Okay.
I can't let that go, guys.
So Nicole, is this at the Culinary Training Center on Lake Mead?
Yes, ma'am.
And who are you going to be speaking to?
I'm going to be speaking to the community, mental health professionals and leaders, and faith leaders.
Okay. Yeah, I know where that is because I was there for lunch. They have this restaurant too. They used to anyway that you can have lunch. All right. It's been a great meeting. Lori, as far as the evaluation, I thought you were extremely eloquent in your feedback to Lori. I was waiting to hear some because you had so many, all the positives. Great on that. I was waiting to hear some comments as to how she could improve, and I almost to the end when they weren't there until you got to the point of go and test out the room, which was really the, hey, this is how you can improve and be ready for that. So she's going to do a professional presentation. Reminding her of that, I thought was a wonderful thing to do. So great job on that. Again, a wonderful meeting, and this is what we can see that happens. We can train up, and then if we really want to be speaking outside, this is where we can train and learn and get feedback. So with that, I will return control. No, I need my compatriot, Francisca, to give us the Word Master Grammarian report.
Thank you, Madam Evaluator. I heard the word of the day, affluent, from Peggy and Nicole, Lori, and from George. I did not note any pause fillers or unusual words, but let me get to the end after I go through my favorite section, which is the list of quotes and words that kind of stood out, at least to me. Maria used the word eloquent. I haven't heard that in a very long time. Jennifer used impactful and indulge. Lori used the term amazing gestures. We Cubans do amazing gestures all the time. I would like to think that that's what we do. We talk with our hands. George used the term freedom to speak. It may sound simple, but it's something that's very near and dear to our hearts, especially this time of the year. Peggy used the word or the term World War II veteran. It may not be a special word, but it really is. And thank you to your dad for his service. Etta used terms like rationing and dictatorial. Nicole, I have a long list. I even had to go to the back of my sheet. Interference of deity in human life, embedded into our culture, divine intervention, discern, borrow God's compassion, undeniable truth, choose to disagree. And my all-time favorite from Nicole's speech, choose the power within you. Such amazing, strong words. And then I had a final note. I wasn't sure where to plug this in, but I had to. Cynthia's growl of sorts. I don't know where that fits in, but that's part of the report for the grammarian today. Thank
Especially
you.
because
And
I
that's
couldn't
what
see her
who I
growling.
return the meeting to.
Thank you,
I
Francisca.
couldn't see her growl, but I felt it, Cynthia. Thank you.
Thank you, Francisca, for being such a good listener. I return control now to our Toastmaster, Jennifer.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Can we also get the winner of our table topic, George?
Our winner today is Francesca and Etta. We had a tie. And Lori's time for her evaluation. So nobody called on me, but I'm giving it anyway.
Yeah,
4 minutes and 3 seconds.
We knew it was long.
She always gives great evaluations.
But it was great. Thank you, George. What a great meeting. I knew that when I just said freedom that everybody would take off on, from table topics to their introductions to themselves, that I wouldn't have to talk anything about the word freedom. And you guys did an amazing job on that. And with that note, I return conduct to the meeting to the presiding officer. All right. Well, my protocol, as many times as I do this, I still need something to look at. Do we have any comments from our guests? Amy, can you comment? It's been such a long time. Might not.
I think she's gone.
Yeah. Etta?
No, she's there.
Well,
on-
she's here, but she probably can't talk because she said she was driving, so. Anna, do you have any comments?
I just want to say I always feel affluent in terms of love and excitement when I'm at this meeting. I thought Nicole's speech was powerful. Being positive doesn't always mean being up all the time. Sometimes you can be transparent about things that happen, but you can get over it. That's part of what divine intervention is. I think of the hymn Amazing Grace, which helps us through everything, I can do all things through Christ who strengtheneth me, overcoming all obstacles and succeeding.
Thank you, Etta. And you used the word of the day, and I still haven't figured out how to use it yet. So good job. Maria, I meant to tell you from Cynthia's video, he's the person that sings, "I'm so happy." So that's who he is.
Oh,
You know
yeah,
that.
well, just.
And she still says,
That's why you have to come to you have to come to Toastmasters to keep up with the times and keep up with the people, and especially Cynthia. She's up with everything.
And Rick, I think this is Rick's first time visiting us.
Yes.
So, do you have any comments, Rick?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Thank you for inviting me. You guys have a great meeting, there's great speeches. I am not a big fan of table topics, hence where when I get called on, I get diarrhea of the mouth and it just kind of runs. But with that said, I do appreciate you guys inviting me. As this year progresses, I am the Division A director, but I will also be your guys' area director until we figure out. So if you guys need anything, you will just be reaching out to myself, and me and my team will kind of take care of you guys, but I am going to be primary your guys's. So if you guys do need anything throughout the year, I know you guys will be successful, and George is going to make sure of that. But in the same breath, George will also make sure I'm on track. So again, I appreciate you guys, and thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for coming, Rick. Would you put your email in the chat for me?
All right. Thank you, Rick. And yes, we definitely will be reaching out to you, and I'm sure you'll see a lot of us. George?
So we were going to talk about topics for the debate at the end of the month. What I would suggest is that everyone send their items or their ideas to Jennifer. And then next week, what we ought to do is maybe Jennifer, you can whittle it down to, because I have like a lot. Maybe you can whittle it down to 5, and then we can vote on it next week so people have a chance to start preparing.
Yeah. So don't forget, I think I sent you guys an email on that asking as well. So just send it to me in an email, and then we'll talk about it next week. Can we have the schedule? We're running behind. Can we have,
Yep.
Are there any other announcements first? Sorry. Can we have the schedule for next week?
My pleasure, Madam Toastmaster, Madam President.